are live. It is the NBA Rundown brought to you by Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Our new Tuesday guest, AP, formerly of Friday fame, joining us today. And we have a pretty good slate, AP. Usually Tuesdays are a little smaller, but this week they flipped us, right? They gave us a smaller Monday slate, and we have a packed slate for tonight. So I can't wait to dive right in. But a lot has happened since the last time we've talked. The Kings played in the second highest scoring game in NBA history. Damian Lillard dropped 71. And then news that LeBron James might be out for the Lakers. So NBA landscape has changed quite a bit since I've seen you. What are your thoughts basically on everything that's going on in the NBA right now?
Really unfortunate for the Lakers. Obviously a TNT game. You knew LeBron was playing through something after he, said it popped or whatever. So, I'm not surprised. I guess I'm surprised that he was able to finish the way he did because he obviously finished strong there. But, for the Lakers, they were starting to make a run. They're pushing towards 500. They were, beat the Warriors twice. They were, 4-1 or 5-1 since the trade deadline. So, they were starting to right the ship, and then now they're going to have to do it without LeBron. I will say, Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt, two awesome pickups for the Lakers. Jared Vanderbilt, the other against the Mavericks, was just an absolute beast. This dude was all over. In 26 minutes, the way he impacted the game, 17 rebounds, 4 steals, 15 points. The guy was an absolute monster. So, I don't know. I'll be curious. I think, right out of the gate tonight, it's going to be interesting with the Lakers on TNT against the Grizzlies. But no, the other thing that I noticed, spread. I always like this time of the season because you have two things going on. You got tanking teams, and then you have teams that are trying really hard. And you're seeing it on the defensive end, and every possession is starting to matter. So those are things that we can use and we can take and, use it to get an edge in daily fantasy.
And you know what? I would say that there's less tanking going on than ever. Fantastic. They should just completely, in my mind, just even out the lottery. Just completely.
Yeah. Right.
But with the bottom 4 teams kind of having that equal shot at number 1, right? Like, for example, when the Pistons played the Hornets last night, I guess, if you're lower, you get like the number 5 pick if you don't fall in the top 4. But the idea is it's not really going to affect the draft status as much. And we got to see a pretty good competitive outing there. James Wiseman, right? 23-7. Some guy we might have to look for some fantasy in the future if he's going to continue to put up numbers like that. Marvin Bagley now getting some fantasy production there out of the Detroit Pistons. And back to your point on Jared Vanderbilt, man, I was watching him, and if LeBron would have stayed healthy, that could have been the pickup of the season. His ability to defend, and then you match that with Davis's versatility, and then you're going to add in the idea that LeBron will actually try on defense when the games mattered. That was going to make that team similar to the team that won the championship in the bubble with their ability to defend. Also, it's weird how Schrader fits in on that team and nowhere else, right?
Schroeder, yeah.
He's nothing on these other teams, right? He can't even get run, and he looked pretty good out there. So it'll be interesting to see how this team goes moving forward. I'm not necessarily ready to write them off yet. I still think they can compete just with Anthony Davis as their main guy. If they can't, maybe it's a referendum against him as a top 10 player in the league, because I think with the current roster, they should be able to compete. But I also got to get your thoughts. We had the second highest scoring game in history, and the Kings got it done. What do you think of my Beam team, AP? Do we have a chance to win our first playoff series?
Yeah, they're playing really well. You got to like how Malik Monk has stepped up. That's been one of my boys for a while now, mainly because he's helped me to win some money. But no, they're playing good. Beating the Thunder on the road, always tough. Clippers too. The game you're talking about went absolutely insane. They're starting. The West is still is still insane. It's going to be insanely tough. And the Kings have a long road ahead. But you got to if you're a fan, you got to like what you're seeing.
Yeah, pretty excited about that. And then also, did you see Dame the other night? It was funny that day. I was talking to Susie. She played a head-to-head, and she said, "Thank God I played Dame."
She's been crushing those head-to-heads. Like some guy keeps challenging her, and she keeps absolutely owning him. It's crazy.
Yeah, but she's like, "Thank God I played Dame," right? And I enjoyed that game that night. Of course, we had the over on the playbook, so we were able to cash as well.
That night I swapped off the nuts. Like everyone else, also had Jokic Dame, and I swapped to Sabonis Dame. So
and that's and I'm glad she didn't listen to me because I said I kind of liked Sabonis there a little more too, but she went with the Jokic.
What do you think? So he had such a strong first half. Was it just I didn't catch the second half, but it seemed like OKC just made some adjustments, maybe went small. Making things a little bit tougher on Sabonis because he did all of his work in the first half. He did not do much in the second half at all of that game.
I also think that he's a player that's not too worried about getting his own statistics. And once
he saw that Fox was,
he just said, "I'm going to just keep feeding you." And
Fox was the other guy I liked just because, Thunder right now they have no rim protection. You got Jalen Williams and then no one really else unless they go small. So. And Fox had a field day as well. 53 DK points.
And for the last 3 years, Fox has significantly increased his averages on both points and assists after the All-Star break. So maybe a little while longer with him being undervalued before DraftKings pricing catches on. So, all right, good to catch up with you on that, but we are not done. I have so many windows open. I'm going straight to Bookmaker, though. We're going to get these lines up. We're going to talk about tonight.
How do you feel? Real quick, one last thing before we dive in.
All right.
What we should have done over All-Star break, and partly my fault, took a little mini vacation, but kind of an update on, how do you feel about your preseason ranking? So who do I have coming out of the West? The Mavericks against Philly, right?
Did you have the Pelicans? I thought we all had the Pelicans.
No, that was Tyler.
Okay.
We were high on the Pelicans, but Tyler had them. I either had Denver or the Mavericks. I got to go back and check my own receipts on that. And then I
feel bad about mine because I had the Warriors coming out again.
So, and then right now it's, gosh, if we could, reshuffle that, I got the Suns. We haven't even seen KD yet. We got the Suns, and then it seems like, the Bucks, man. I know how good Boston is, but the Bucks are going to be deep if they stay healthy. If they get Jay Crowder worked in there, what an absolute piece. So
I like
it's a fun time of the year
if they face off. I've been always in the team. JSU is laughing. You love the Bucks so much, you in Titletown. But I think that Giannis is still the best player in the NBA. I know that Jokic will win the MVP award, and rightfully so when you look at the statistics. But if it comes down to it and the game's on the line, I want Giannis for his ability to impact on both ends of the floor. So let's go ahead and bring Tyler in, and he can also answer that question.
Yeah, we can also just dive in. I forgot there's 10 games tonight.
We don't have a show after us though, right? So
I got a meeting at top of the hour though. So
okay. Well, we'll get in there. But Tyler, good to see you last night. We had fun on the playback. For those of you who don't know, Run Pure is going live on playback. Pretty much every night, Monday through Friday, at least.
Monday through Thursday for sure.
Yeah, and we had a good time last night. We're still wiping the sleep out of our eyes up a little later than usual, right? Because usually I'm winding down while I'm watching the games. Tyler, basic thoughts on the NBA, and who do you like right now? We're revisiting our predictions. I said you like the Pelicans, but you kind of got screwed on the injury news there because they did look to be the best team before they got hurt. You're muted, or your mic's not on.
Yeah, can't like them anymore with no Zion. So, for me, I got to wait and see KD play for Phoenix because the moment he steps on the floor, that team could be the best team in the West. So can't pick anybody outside of them right now in the West. And then in the East, it's just Boston by default.
Yeah, see, I'm going to love Milwaukee, and we'll be going head-to-head. I'm sure that'll be fun as we continue to do the NBA.
I just don't trust the other guys outside of Giannis. Like Middleton, I don't think he's the same. Could Holiday put it together? Yes, but I don't trust it.
How can you not trust Middleton and Holiday? They've both been getting it done.
I trust the Holiday more than Middleton. Middleton's not the same player.
Did Middleton hit a huge shot though? Oh, okay. You're saying he's not.
What was that? 3 years ago?
It was 2 years ago. All right. Let's dive into tonight. The Washington Wizards plus 6.5 in Atlanta, taking on the Hawks. Total 234. When did the Wizards play last? This isn't a run back, is it?
No.
The Wizards lost to the Bulls on Sunday, right? And that really bad loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now they go to Atlanta. They take on the Hawks. Wizards back and forth. I don't think we're going to get Porzingis tonight. Let me pull up this basketball monster. He's doubtful here. Monty Morris is out. What's this note on Trae Young? We talked about it last night. What's note? Do you know, Tyler? And what are your thoughts for this game?
Just means nothing to me right now because I seen one on CJ McCollum last night and it didn't mean anything. So
it says note on basketball.
I'm just taking it as nothing. Literally nothing.
It means he's the captain of the ship now with McMillan out.
Right. So they're running with Joe Prunty, right? But there's rumors that Snyder's going to take over, or did Snyder officially?
I thought they already offered him a job.
So who's coaching for them tonight?
I think the question is just when is he going to start? Is he going to start mid-season, or is it going to be something where he comes in the offseason?
Okay. And even if he does, right? I mean, how much can you implement in one day without a practice? So that'll be interesting. Tyler, let's start with you. What are your thoughts here on the Wizards catching 6.5? Kind of a weird number. I think if you like the Wizards, you wait and you try and get the 7. But total's 234. Your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I think it's Atlanta or pass for me. I've talked about betting Washington, and when I bet Washington, they need to have all their main guys out there. Porzingis is doubtful tonight. They're going to be missing their starting point guard, so I'm taking Atlanta here. I think Trae Young goes out there. He does his thing. He doubles and wins. That's plus 110. I like that. And then I don't mind the DeJounte Murray, 25-plus points and win at plus 275 because neither of the guards for Washington are all that good. These two guys for Atlanta should smash the spot. And I think they pick up the win by double digits, so I'm on Atlanta here. All
right. AP, what are your thoughts here when Atlanta takes on the Wizards?
Yeah, I'm locked arm in arm with Tyler. I love the Atlanta Hawks side. I think they're 2-0 since firing their coach, wins over the Cavs and Nets, and pretty solid wins too. So I'm with them. I think Trae Young has a big game. 9.5K, pretty nice price tag there. Capella and Okongwu basically splitting minutes. So like in DFS formats, I prefer Okongwu if you want to go in tournaments. I just can't play Capella with them splitting minutes. And then on the other side, I mean, Porzingis is unlikely to play. Daniel Gafford's going to grade out as a decent play. One kind of sneaky guy. Now I think it's probably too thin, but if you get the right game script, Monty Morris, I believe is questionable. Is DeLon Wright off the bench. Now, the price tag is a little high for my liking, but he is a guy that can distribute. So I just wish he was closer to 4K. But, yeah, I'm probably not going to touch too many pieces from the Wizards side here. The Hawks side is interesting, but it's a huge slate, and there's some really nice spots.
All right. Yeah, and we'll get your thoughts at the end. Is there any news that you're expecting where you'd be worried about locking in some of these guys early? I know that becomes a big part of our DFS strategy here is analyzing what news is coming in and whether or not we want to be locked in on positions. Is there any reason you see to backload the slate, or if you like some of these Wizards and Hawks, can you get them in early?
We have quite a bit of news. Trey Jones is questionable for the Spurs, but he's been questionable and continues to miss. So I'm expecting he's more likely out. And then we have a lot of the news in the later games of De'Aaron Fox is questionable. What do you think he plays? I would just put Malik Monk in like a phenomenal role.
Yeah, and boy, I don't know. I was very questionable too. Davion Mitchell when we drafted him, but he has not been good. In the new NBA,
yeah, he's not a play DFS wise.
Yeah, he used to be too. Do you remember last year? He was getting some good run and putting up some numbers. It almost feels like he's regressed on the offensive end. So, all right, something to keep an eye on. And, of course, those guys will be monitoring that on the Up to Lock show. One good thing, AP, we got an extra half hour, though. There's no actual 7 p.m.
I love that, too.
Yeah, I like it.
It's always massive.
Too. There's actually 4 games that tip off here at this 7:30, 7:40 time. Let's go to another one. We talked about the Lakers earlier. Interesting spot here tonight with them +9. Tyler, it's always tough to make numbers, especially with the Lakers. So many things have changed, right? Especially if I'm using their season-long averages. But no LeBron tonight. +9 still seems like a lot for a team that I still believe can compete. The total is 230.5, but we've talked about it before. This Memphis team is front runners, and they do like to pour it on when they're winning. They're not the type of team to lit up on the gas. So, Tyler, what do you think when the Grizzlies are laying 9 in Memphis, taking on the Lakers? The total 230.5.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies win, but 9 seems like a lot here. But the more I look at the matchup, it's like AD is going to be going up against Jaren Jackson and these guys. I don't think that's a great matchup.
You don't think the AD can get Jackson in foul trouble?
He could, but it's AD we're talking about. Is he going to settle for jumpers, or is he actually going to get in the paint and play? So, got to keep an eye on that. There's still going to be no D'Angelo Russell, so it's just going to be Davis, Beasley, and Vanderbilt and these guys out there. I don't think that's enough to beat Memphis here, so I'm on Memphis. A lean on the spread, but on these performance doubles, I think Ja could score 30 and they could win at that +160. Because these two guards, him and Bane, are just in spots where they could smash this Lakers team. Bane to score 25 and they win is +200. Bane to hit 4 threes and they win is another one I'd be targeting. And maybe even a Ja double-double. So I'm on Memphis here, but not on the spread. I think it could be a closer game than 9.
All right. And remember, guys, we talk about these on the show, but to get those player performance doubles that Tyler's actually locked in and bet, you need access to the NBA playbook. Run puresports.com. Well, I'm throwing out a promo. Give us that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can jump in the chat. AP, what do you think about the Lakers tonight? And with no LeBron, is there some interesting DFS pricing, or do you think they've done it accurately?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a tough spot. No D'Lo, no LeBron, but I like how. So my one bet before diving into this game, I love the unders in this game. We've seen the Mavericks. Like I've been leaning towards like overs in Mavs games with the Kyrie pickup, and what you've seen with the Lakers is a little bit slower pace, more defense with Malik Beasley and with Jared Vanderbilt. And tonight, the only way that they stand a chance in this game is not in a shootout. It's to play defense, slow the game down, and try to steal a win. So I love the under here. I'm not touching the side. The Grizzlies, Jokic came in to Memphis, and man, they embarrassed him. I think that's kind of like a throwaway game. Like I just think it was just a letdown for Denver. That I think they were on the front end of a back-to-back, played the next day. Obviously, turn things around at home. But yeah, it's a tough spot for the Lakers here. I love the unders.
All right. You're on the under, right? A little bit. See, that's why you got to tune in every day to the NBA Rundown.
And I like Jared Vanderbilt again. I mean, if you're the Grizzlies, all the attention should be on AD. It should free things up for all the attention is going to be on Malik Beasley, you would think, and Anthony Davis, right? Because Beasley's been hot. What do you guys think they do? Put Dylan Brooks on him just to make life difficult? I mean, they have to, right?
Either him or Bane.
I don't know. Wouldn't you want?
Yeah, it's a tough spot
guy, because Beasley's more of a spot up guy, right? I think you can get away with having a different defender on him.
Yeah, and I also like Austin Reeves off the bench. He's 3.4K. He needs to have a big game too.
Did you guys see that highlight? Mavericks game?
Yeah, and Josh Green.
Yeah, he's like,
that was funny.
Smack. He's up in his face, and then he goes ahead and backs up the smack talk by nailing a couple big jumpers.
He's got some swagger, man.
We were on
the
the
dude can hoop.
That game. Yeah, I know. Huh? They're like great at finding these white kids that can ball out. So interesting spot here. I agree with you, Tyler. I think the 9's a little too much, but I like the way that you're attacking it with the player performance doubles. The Chicago Bulls are +5. They're in Toronto, taking on the Raptors. The total 219.5. Tyler, I don't know what to make of this Bulls team. They lose 6 in a row. They come out of the break. They're playing great basketball. The Toronto Raptors, I do know what to make of them, though. I think they've improved a lot by adding Podol, however you say his name. I always say Podol, but I hear Pirtle. They're a balanced team now. I mean, that was a great idea. Try and have a bunch of guys that are all 6'9" out there, and you could switch everything. But it ended up not working out. It turns out that, balanced is better. Having a true center is better. I think the team looks better now. So you have two teams that are on an upswing here. Raptors at home have always been good, though. I like them on a short spread. The -5 is where it gets a little bit out of my comfort range. What do you think when the Raptors take on the Bulls?
No, I'm on the Raptors here. I mean, you talked about both teams being in an upswing. The Bulls aren't in an upswing. They've just had 2 easy games that they picked up wins in. They still suck. So the Raptors, on the other hand, the Podol pickup did help them out, fixes the lineup, and it makes them match up very well with Chicago here. Because where Chicago had the advantage, that was down low with Vucevic. Now you have Podol down there to kind of counteract that. Siakam's going to eat up in that power forward spot, and they have the length at every other position. They could slow down DeRozan and Levine. So I think the Raptors smash here. Van Fleet's supposed to be back. So give me the Raptors. I think they win this game by about 8.
All right. Tyler likes the Raptors laying it. Yeah, 5's a tough number. It always seems like they foul right past it. It has to come down right towards the end. AP, your thoughts here, Raptors Bulls?
Yeah, I mean, DeRozan was just like he was in such a big slump there for the longest time. From what I've seen in the last 2 games, I think he looks pretty good. He was 11 for 15 against the Wizards. He's going to need to have a monster game here to try and steal a win in Toronto, which is a tough thing to do. I'm like with you guys. That spread is kind of awkward. But if I had to bet it would be the Toronto side. And then the total, I think the total is very much in line. So again, kind of with Tyler on this one. I do think it's a close game though. You got to like how the Bulls are playing right now. I agree with you guys. They're a dusty team. Like Pat Bev doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, I guess like the under is kind of sneaky, but man, we're getting into that territory where like 219.5. I mean, it's a lowish number, but it's obviously a different point in the season. Both of these teams too should be playing hard. Positioning for the playoffs, depending on where they say. Hey, where do the Bulls stand? I gotta pull this up. You guys know off the top of your head?
I was pulling it up as you were saying.
I don't. Yeah, pull it up for us.
They're on the outside looking in.
Yep. And
Toronto's
holding on to
yeah, Toronto. So I mean, this is a big game. This is definitely a big game. I maybe lean unders. I think it plays defensive. Wouldn't be shocked though if DeRozan has a good game if they steal one here in Toronto.
This is a revenge game too, so I know he's played for 3 different teams, but this was the main one.
Now I already liked DeRozan, and then now that you brought that up, I think I'm gonna have to play him tonight.
My worry
is it really revenge? I guess it.
Yeah, it's revenge spread. He played for Toronto for like 8 years. I don't care about his little stint with the Spurs. That meant nothing here.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move right on though, because we do have a big slate. We talked about the Bucks earlier. They're laying 6.5 on the road against the Brooklyn Nets. The total 230.5. Tyler, I've liked the Nets, and I've been wrong. Our NBA hipster team's not coming through.
How is this 6.5?
What do you want it to be?
9. Giannis is playing. This team's offense sucks. They have offense one game. They don't have offense the next. Now they're going to play one of the best defensive teams in the league. You're going to give me him at -6.
So you're saying that the Bucks are 11 points better than the Nets?
Yes. Would it surprise you? We just watched the Bulls hold this team to like 50 points. Would it surprise you if the Bucks held them to like 80 and scored 130?
All right.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So you're fine laying the 6.5, but what props do you have in this game? Who do you like to go off?
Yeah, I mean, of course you like Giannis in this matchup. His double-double and win, the 30-plus points and win. I don't hate Lopez either here because I think he could eat up on Claxton. His 15-plus points and win, the 3+ threes and win that I know our guy We the People loves, because Claxton's not going to come out of that paint. He's going to stay in the paint. Lopez is standing in the corner and shoot his threes.
Yeah, I was going to – or do you think they put Claxton on Lopez and they try a smaller player on Giannis?
No, that's what I mean. Lopez 3+ threes and win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they try and match up. That's one of the things that the Bucks can do is just beat you with size. AP, your thoughts on the Bucks and the Nets?
I mean, this spread just seems so like trappy. Like I get everything Tyler's saying. But they're at home. They've played some good games at home since these trades obviously happened. It comes down to if the Nets can hit threes, they need it. Like when you look at how this team is made up, if I'm them, I'm taking as many threes as I can every single game. You got Cam Johnson. I like him. He's a good role player. I mean, they're all role players. They don't have one alpha, which is the problem, which is why I think you see a lot of competitive games. I think you see them steal a couple wins that's surprising, and then I think you see them get blown out a lot. So I think it's just the range of outcomes here is all over the map. I don't know if I can touch this game. I think the prudent play or the popular play has to be the Bucks with Giannis back. Middleton's been playing good. Just such a tough matchup, but there's something about the spread.
Like you said it. I think it's either the Bucks or you don't play it, because I think if you take that Nets ticket, you could be sitting there with egg on your face 5 minutes into the game.
5 minutes into the game, 100%. I agree with that. So, and I can't touch the total here too, because one of the other problems is how is this Nets team going to stop this Bucks team too? Nick Claxton, is he really going to stop Giannis down in the paint? I don't see it happening. So, yes, Tyler, all right, I'm with you on this one. I'm just saying, I would not be surprised, because if you can hit threes, and if you can hit threes at a high rate, that alone can keep you in games. And that's what this team has the only ability to do, in my opinion. So, do you guys know, how many threes they're taking a game since this trade? Because I thought they would be just absolutely, chucking from 3-point range.
I don't have the exact numbers.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. I was just going to pull up their last couple of games and see how many they let fly.
Yeah, pull it up real quick for us, Tyler, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, last game against the Hawks, they shot 39 threes. They made 14 of them.
What's the NBA average?
Let me get the whole stat pulled up.
Yeah, for me, it just with this team, it comes down to are they hitting their threes or not. So,
no, I agree.
The Nets' future has to be somewhat bright, longer term, because look at all these pieces you have. You should be able to bring in a stud. You're going to have to figure out who you want to give up, but you got to feel like they could make some moves eventually. They got to get rid of Ben Simmons is the last piece there too.
I'm going to wait for that contract to expire. No one's taking that.
Yeah, it's probably the worst contract, right? It's just terrible. I don't know how they're going to be able to.
Crazy when you go back and look at his rookie highlights, just how much he's regressed and how bad he's gotten. It blows my mind.
Do we think it's all mental? What do we think?
No, I think his back's not the same and he can't move the same. I think it's just a terrible back injury. A back injury, I hate to compare it to Larry Bird, but, Larry Bird was one of the best players in the league, and after he had that back injury, he had to just retire.
For DFS, though, for this game to stay close, Mikal Bridges needs to have a big game. Dinwiddie's been hit or miss. I thought he would step up and kind of be the guy. Imagine if it was Jalen Brunson going to this Nets team. I think he would have a bigger and better impact than Dinwiddie from what we've seen. I thought Dinwiddie could have done that same thing that Brunson did with New York, but we just haven't seen it yet. So I think it's going to come down to Mikal and Cam Johnson hitting shots. And then maybe Cam Thomas off the bench. Cam Thomas is interesting. If you look at that rotation in tournaments tonight, if you're multi-entering, Cam Thomas, I think, is an interesting play because the Bucks are going to get whatever they want. The Nets are going to have to score, and Cam Thomas is a scorer. So it'll be interesting to see what this rotation looks like.
All right, there you have it.
Over their last 5 games, AP, they are attempting the 7th most threes in the league, and they're making right around 14 of them. They're shooting about 40 of them.
If I'm their coach, I want them shooting the most. You got this roster, all right, you got Cam Thomas, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. You got Seth Curry and Joe Harris, all 3-point shooters. You should be chucking 40-plus every game. That's my opinion.
Yeah, they're in an interesting spot. Obviously, this wasn't the plan that they had. I'm really be interested to see what this team's going to do in the offseason. So,
look what the Warriors. The only reason Warriors are winning at home is because they're hitting 3 points. They're hitting their threes at home, at an extremely high clip. A lot of it's Klay Thompson because Poole's been dust, but that 3-point, man, it's a game changer if you can, obviously, if you can hit your shots.
If you're the Warriors, who do you let walk this offseason? Well, I know you'd have to let Draymond walk, but do you maybe turn around and just trade Poole instead? Keep Draymond?
I would get rid of Poole.
I would trade Poole to like a Detroit, Charlotte. Let him go put up some empty stats because that's the kind of player he is. He'll go to one of these sucky teams and average 25 to 30. And we'll talk about how he's such a bucket and he's great in fantasy, but in reality, the dude's not a great basketball player.
The other thing I thought with like Ben Simmons, like he had a couple good games this year. And when he was at his best was when he was pushing in transition and he was finding the open guy. I thought maybe the one way this Nets team steals some wins is you got to get Ben and just say, hey, any chance you get, push it, find the open guy, shoot threes with this team. And we're not seeing it. And that's, 2 stars. I mean, yeah, good comment there. The spacing's just not the same. And that's what they need. They need that spacing to get some separation and to get some open looks from three.
That's why I always thought Golden State wouldn't be a bad spot for him if they played him as their big. Let him grab the rebounds, push it while the shooters just get to the corners and not on the 3 line.
I just don't think he can physically do it anymore. I mean, I think that back is too much.
We probably talked about Ben Simmons too much for like a month.
Now he's hurt again and he's not going to play for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Beam team. We're -3 tonight. We're in Oklahoma City, Sacramento Kings. +3 for the Thunder. 235 is the total. But Tyler, we're waiting on this De'Aaron Fox news. If Fox sits, did the Kings still have a chance to win?
I'm not a part of this because SGA is already out. I'm already on the Kings. So I'm not worried about Fox. Monk's there to play the backup point guard. He can play starter and Mitchell can play backup. Doesn't matter to me because with no SGA on the Thunder side, I don't trust that team whatsoever. I'm on the Kings. I think they smashed. I just think we're getting a discount on it with Fox having that Q tag next to him right now.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I actually like the Thunder to cover bigger spreads without SGA because I still think they're an okay team. But 3 points is not enough. AP, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the spread is like these second games where teams just played sometimes play out weird. But look, we're towards the latter half of the season now. The Kings are in a really nice spot. Every game matters. And I mean, Fox has to know that. He looked awesome that last game. I mean, I was surprised to see the Q tag pop up on him. So I think if he's good to go, that he probably plays. And even if he doesn't, I don't know. I think like Sabonis, Malik Monk, and these guys can get it done. Because, I mean, OKC, what? They got to be back to, like, tanking, right? I mean, they're 28 and 32.
They've pushed themselves down below the Lakers now, and they're the third lowest team ahead of San Antonio and Houston, which they're not catching either of those two.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of hard for them to say that they're tanking, but that's what I get. Or maybe feeling out their roster a little bit. And this is just what's crazy. Like, Isaiah Joe is going to be a very, very popular play tonight, and rightfully so. But like, man, can you trust it? Like, is he going to come in and hit shots like he did last game? You got Trey Mann. This OKC rotation is just so frustrating. So,
all right, well, that's fair, Tyler. I'm glad to hear that you're on my team, and I'll be looking forward to betting that tonight. Another fun game. Well, I don't know if this one's that fun. The Denver Nuggets, -10.5. They're in Houston, taking on the Rockets. The total is 232.
They couldn't set this number high enough.
What do you think it should be, 15?
You think Kevin Porter being back and Jalen Green being back? Kevin Porter's still questionable, but he made shoot around. Do you think that impacts it at all? Probably not.
I mean,
no, because
it helps a little bit, but it's just they still have no defense.
Yeah, I mean, they can't stop anyone. Like, I'm a big Şengün guy, but him or Christian Wood have to be the worst defensive center in the league. I mean, it looked like a layup line, and I think that's why Dame got so much room is because the players, it was just terrible. They were playing off, because they know once again that Payne, it's an automatic bucket. You just give the guys too much space. I don't know. And they don't run any semblance of an offense. I mean, their best idea is just to get him to Şengün and hope something happens there. I do like the fact that he is a willing passer. But, I was really hoping that Şengün was going to step up here with those two out and say, hey, you should run the offense around me. The results haven't been what I had hoped for. So, Tyler, you like the Nuggets here. You want to lay the points.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Şengün taking a step forward. Well, he could look in the mirror this entire game and get an idea of what he should be doing because Jokic is going to piss all over him tonight. His points plus rebounds plus assists is 47.5. Seems low to me. Rebounds at 12.5. Who's keeping him off the boards tonight? And it's plus money. I think he smashes tonight. We just watched. I know Dame's a guard, but we just watch these stars just smash this Houston team. So I think Jokic does the same here. I think they smash them. Give me the -10. I think they win this game by about 15. And I think they grab a hold of this lead and they never look back. I think they cruise with this the entire game.
All right. You think they cruise. What are your thoughts, AP?
Yeah, I mean, with Tyler again, but it's like, can this game stay close enough for Jokic and daily fantasy to get there? They've played twice this year already. Jokic played 27 minutes in both games. I think both games a blowout. And like my one concern is, can he hit that ceiling? It's a monster slate, a lot of really good plays. So that's a point to consider there. You have other guy it would be a great spot to let's just say, like, running off Tyler's script, like the Nuggets get maintain like a 15-point lead. Perfect spot to give extra minutes to a guy like Thomas Bryant, developing him a little bit more into this system, Reggie Jackson. So I could see a lot of different outcomes here, assuming that the Nuggets take that early lead. And I think Jamal Murray is still questionable. So that's a key piece of news to keep an eye on. If he is out, you're going to have Bruce Brown factor in. The one problem when this happens, and it's something to keep an eye on, I almost like Bruce Brown worse, because when he's playing alongside Jokic, he's off ball. Jokic is the guy running the show. Whereas Jamal Murray and Jokic together, that two-man game is one of the best two-man games in the NBA. So if Jamal Murray plays tonight, I think he's an interesting tournament play. He's been having some good games recently. Jokic, if the Rockets can keep it close. I don't with Jalen Green and potentially Kevin Porter Jr. back, I think the Rockets are a full fade. They're tanking clearly, and you can see that unless I've missed something. But Şengün's been awesome, and they're holding him to like 24 minutes, 25 minutes. You're rarely ever getting more than that from him. So it looks like they just are going to run a wide rotation and, play these games out and lose them and position, obviously for a good draft pick. So I think it's a tough game DFS wise. We got to keep an eye on the Murray news. I like Jokic could smash, but for me, it comes down to, will this game stay close? And I just don't see that happening.
Did either of you guys see the video of their owner, like in the club, and he turned around and was like screamed into the camera, "Pray for Victor," and then went back to partying?
No, but I mean, it's not surprising, right?
I like the Jamal Murray call too. AP guards against this Houston team, they're combining for about 52 points per game, 7 threes. He could be in a spot where it comes out. He's not going to put up Dame numbers, but he could put up 35 points.
All right, 2-1-2 stars. I'm with you. Do I think Thomas Bryant is trash? No, I think he's a huge upgrade from DeAndre Jordan, the guy that they had backing up Jokic. Now is the time where, Denver needs the number one seed. Every game they have to win. This is a game they're gonna win, and it's also a game at the same time they probably don't need to push Jokic out there for like 38 minutes. There's going to be games down the stretch where Jokic plays 38, 40 plus minutes. I don't think this is one of them. I think it's one where they open up the rotation a little bit. And Malone's been like more cautious than ever with Jokic, it seems like this season. We've seen him rest on back-to-backs. So I'm just saying there's risk there, and it's more blowout risk. I know it's tough to predict that. I just, that's the risk that I see here.
2 fun guesses for you guys. Tell me the odds on Jokic double-double and win and Jokic's triple-double. Don't look them up. Just take a guess.
Double-double and win -180. Triple-double and win +140.
There is no triple-double and win. Just the triple-double alone is -105. And the double-double and win is -300.
That's insane.
Wow. All right.
He's averaging a triple-double, right?
Yeah.
Is he up to averaging a triple-double?
Yeah,
I think he is, yeah.
Then there's no. Why were we even talking about other people winning the MVP last night, Tyler?
That's what I was saying last night. I was like, "There's no way." Like at this point, it's his. Like,
the LeBron. Yeah, too bad about the LeBron one. I like that narrative. You got 80 to 1 or 100 to 1
It
or
was,
something.
it was
like
slowly
301.
coming into form
300
too.
to
They
1.
were working their way up the standings. It was like, oh,
And they
here
were
he comes.
gonna go on a run. Those pickups were good.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Let's see. Now we're going to the 8:30 Eastern game. The Indiana Pacers are in Dallas taking on the Mavericks. The Mavericks, of course, coming off that disappointing loss. What'd they blow? Like a 27-point lead? How terrible
That's
is
what
that?
it was. 27-point lead. Teams were 138-0 up until that point, and then Dallas blew that. So
Yeah, great job, Dallas. Well, at least they got an entertaining game on ABC. Now Dallas gets a chance to get back against the Indiana Pacers, a team that has been struggling after being kind of a nice story to start the season. 8.5 seems like a lot, though, Tyler. What are your thoughts?
what do the Pacers love, spread? Revenge games. Can you tell me the revenge narrative here? It's not a player.
The coach. Oh, very nice.
Yeah, coach.
Travis
Head
will be
coach
proud
is
of you
coming
for that
back
one.
to his old town. He's bringing his players with him. We've seen them play the Kings tough when they have Halliburton there. I think they're going to come out hard and they're going to try and win this game. So love the +9. Don't even mind sprinkling on that +315 because when I look at Dallas personally, I see Luka and I see Kyrie. Josh Green's all right, but everybody else stinks. Look on the other side. It's like Halliburton's there. He's no Luka, but he's a solid point guard.
Why are we
Miles
slandering
Turner.
Reggie Bullock this morning, Tyler?
Reggie Bullock's he's not a key impact player.
I
Like,
know,
yeah, can he hit you
I'm a
4
big.
threes
I
one
like
game?
Reggie Bullock, but he's a role player, right?
Yeah. So, like, I don't think the Pacers are all that off outside of just Luka just being a top-heavy talent. I think the Pacers are close to this team. I'll take the Pacers +9 and sprinkle on their money line. I think this one's going to be a close game.
All right, AP. Tyler likes the points. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Pacers coming off a nice win, and they played Boston really close. I mean, they beat the Bulls. I mean, this team obviously playing hard. I kind of like that call, but for DFS, I think it's tough to play the Pacers side. I think what you do, you look at Miles Turner, 7.4K. No one likes to play him. He's had some monster games, and you can attack the Mavericks in the paint. I mean, look at AD and look at what Vanderbilt did. I mean, both those guys put up monster numbers against this Mavericks team. So I think it's a clear path for Miles Turner. If, playing on that narrative, what you do, you play Miles Turner and then you run it back with like Luka because I think it makes Luka far more attractive if the game stays closer. And I mean, the Mavs need to have a big win here. So I can see Luka having a big night and I can see running it back with Miles Turner. So I'm off the spread here. A slight lean to the overs. I just love these Mavericks overs, especially in this environment. Like, it's going to be competitive, but I think more competitive on the offensive end versus defensive end. So slight lean to the overs, like Miles Turner, like Luka on the other side.
All right, AP likes the over there.
Any thoughts on
to see
Kyrie
him
here,
back
AP,
on
just
brand.
to get a little cheaper off of Luka?
Yeah, I think it's like you said, a rule, one or the other. I think that's fine. It's just
he might draw Buddy Hield defense tonight. We know that's not good.
I mean,
well, Buddy Hield usually.
Who else are you putting on him? Halliburton's probably got to guard Luka.
Benny
Like, at that point, I think Benny's too slow.
I mean, you don't even have you don't have to stack an NBA too. Like, you could just play Miles Turner and move on. I mean, it's Kyrie and Luka. They definitely take away from each other's ceilings. We haven't seen a ceiling game from either one of them yet when playing on the court. It'll
There's
eventually
also them trying to. We saw this in Golden State, right? When KD got there, there's this idea that
shoot last.
Hey, I'm your teammate, right? Let me give you the ball, right? And I think that they're almost overdoing it. And I think it's natural, right? Because you don't want to, hey, Kyrie, we just traded for you. Now watch me dribble around. Hey, I'm coming over here to take over this team. Luka, give me the ball on every play. But I think you're right. It does limit their ceilings.
We talked about this yesterday, spreading the game, where it's like if we think the game's going to be close, just bet against them because we don't think they're going to be able to close games. Mm-hmm. I think we could kind of play that same thing with Dallas for a little bit because we've seen it now multiple times where, just like you said, we don't know who wants to shoot the ball late. They kind of pass it back and forth. And then the clock runs out and they're both standing there looking at each other. You've seen it in Minnesota. You've seen it against the Lakers. If the Pacers keep this game close and it's a one-possession game late, you might see it again here. So,
and like you said, you are getting plus 300, right? Yeah. So the implied odds are pretty nice there. So, Tyler, I like you taking the road team for the upset. Let's go. A lot of fun here on the NBA Rundown. Remember, guys, we're here live Monday through Friday. Give us that thumbs up. We give you the winners. San Antonio Spurs plus 9.5 against the Utah Jazz. Totals 236. Tyler, we talked about this one last night on the playback, right? So, hey, not only on the playback will you get our commentary on the current games, we kind of looked over today's slate as well. You said if this is a 10 or higher, you're going to take it. And they gave you that number. They're trying to entice you. I don't know how you bet on the Spurs right now. I mean, I agree with you. Why aren't they putting this number at like 15?
You just have to take it until it's above double digits in my eyes.
The Spurs, and it's got to be more than 11. I mean, to me, this is the biggest Spurs, mistake on the board. The Spurs should be minus 15 every single night.
Yeah, I think maybe just the number's a little shorter with Jordan Clarkson out, but
is it really though against the Spurs?
The Jazz
I understand against the top team.
That injury.
Yeah,
and like you just look at the Jazz recent losses. They lost 118 to 102, 142 to 116, 120 to 110, 125 to 106, 112 to 98, 138 to 131, 117 to 109. I heard 2 games that were under double digits.
Yeah.
Now they're back. They're on the road here. They're gonna get smashed. I got to take the Jazz here.
And just to clarify, he was going on the Spurs' recent losses, not the Jazz recent losses.
Spurs' recent losses are all by double digits, except for about 2. So I'm on the Jazz here.
Yeah,
and I think they've lost 16 straight road games. No, 18 straight road games.
I mean, these two teams just played, and the Spurs were on pace to cover, and then they put up 37 points in the second half. And it sucked because we had loaded up them on the Run Pure team, and it looked like we were going to run all the way to the top of that leaderboard, and they stopped scoring. AP, your thoughts here when the Spurs run it back against the Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about this game to keep in mind, it was like fouls galore. I mean, I think Zach Collins fouled out. Bassey had 5 fouls, like couldn't stay out of foul trouble. And so, I mean, I'm tempted to go back to Charles Bassey just as no one's going to play him. He was a sneaky-ish play last time in the same matchup. Just couldn't stay out of foul trouble. Ran about as bad as you possibly could. But, I mean, still, he put up about 15 DK points, and he was, I mean, for a 3K player, like, that's not going to kill you. I think it's a guy that, I mean, if he stayed out of foul trouble, he was going to get a ton of run there in the fourth, which he didn't end up getting. I think he's sneaky, but I can't touch the side here. I mean, this Spurs team, I expect Trey Jones to be out again. It's just brutal. Chris Dunn looks super good. He's going to have a nice role here. Walker Kessler, good spot. I mean, this is going to be the game that profiles very well in fantasy. So for me, it's Chris Dunn. I think he's going to be one of the chalkiest plays on the slate. I was really high on him last slate too, and he was like 5% owned, and he crushed. He's going to be like 70% owned tonight. So Walker Kessler, I mean, bigs absolutely dominate the Spurs. The rotation on the Jazz side kind of is throwing me off. I think, like, my take from it, the Spurs got off to an early lead, and so I just think you saw them kind of mix things up until they found something that worked. So, like, I'm not going to put too much stock into it. So I like Walker Kessler here. I think 6.7K price tag is going to keep ownership down. I mean, the dude's been a block machine. I mean, I think he had 7 against them just last game. So really nice spot for him. And then Laurie, too, should be a nice play here. I mean, he should get all the shots in the world that he wants, especially with both Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson out. So yeah, tough on the side. I think I'm going to stay away. I think it's just going to be a DFS situation for me.
All right.
How do we feel about a fun bet here? Marking in to score 40 at plus 500.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, yeah, he's going to get the shots. His point props at 30. He's playing the Spurs. I think he could hit 40 here.
Yeah. What about Chris Dunn triple double?
Chris Dunn triple double. You might have to call a sports book and have them list that for you.
You gotta look it up. If any dusty player is going to get a triple double against the Spurs, I mean, it's going to be against the Spurs. So
you want to know the 2 guys that are listed for triple doubles on FanDuel for this game?
Who's that?
Horton Tucker at 44-1 and Zach Collins at 90-1.
I mean, Scohan would be. Like I could see Jeremy Scohan or Chris Dunn getting one over those two guys.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't think either of those guys have ever even sniffed a triple-double.
Yeah, I mean, at least like, yeah. I mean, Chris Dunn was close last game, though, which is kind of surprising. He had
Zach
15, 7, and 8.
His whole career. In high school,
he had 15, 7, and 8 in 23 minutes. I mean, that's insane.
Like, he should be listed over them guys, but that's terrible to have those two guys listed. I wish I can get a no on that, regardless of the odds, minus 100,000.
Yeah, we'll have to write them and see what they want to do there. Let's move on to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are taking on Clippers University, the Los Angeles Clippers. Totals 233. The Clippers coming off 2 overtime losses in a row. Of course, the second highest scoring game in NBA history when my Sacramento Kings got that miraculous overtime win, double overtime there. Then they had single overtime against the Nuggets. And Tyler, we talked about that on Playback last night. I know the game went to overtime, but it never really felt like this Clippers team was going to win. Marcus Morris Sr. should not be getting minutes for this team anymore. Paul George, I know he's still a good player, but I don't know if I really count on him. You know, they're paying him like a top 10 player, and he's just not that guy right now. The Timberwolves, though, we talked about them, Tyler. I said, and we don't do this when we're making our models, but just for a fun thought experiment, take out January. This Timberwolves team is one of the worst teams in the NBA, especially in that Western Conference. Now, they did great in January. They ran their numbers up. They got everybody some hope. And now in February, they've regressed to been the team that they've been all year. Travis likes to simplify it and say, oh, if Gobert's not playing, I understand his point. I'm not necessarily ready to just blind bet it like that. He's got a good point, though. Talk to me about the Timberwolves catching 6.5 here. Two teams that are tough for me to bet on. Now they're facing off.
Yeah, probably going to leave this side alone. 6 teams, it's like right on point, that 6.5. I think the Clippers win this game, though. I don't trust Minnesota. We talked about it last night. Outside of Ant, I mean, Gobert's a name you know, but the rest of these guys, I don't think they're all that good. Like, yeah, Naz Reid looks good in his playing time. If you want to tell me about McDaniels or Noel.
Yeah, I like Jaden McDaniels. That was the one.
Like, I'll sit on my rocking chair and listen to you tell me about these guys, but none of these guys are like game-breaking game changers. So you look
play
on the
some jazz
other
music on that rocking chair, Tyler.
You guys want to know what's crazy? So, like, Naz Reid had, like, I thought, like, the game of his life. I mean, he was, all right, so he's 12 of 22. He was hitting threes, 9 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks. He was a -6. And I know it's plus minus whatever, but dude was a -6. I mean, Ant Edwards was a +1. I mean, maybe that's just like a absolute mistake by the plus minus stat department, but that was just insane to see.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know, speaking of Naz Reid, I know everyone loves him as a player, good, solid, small ball guy, but I just don't see him as like somebody that's going to help them win games. So I'm on the Clippers to win. 7 seems like a lot here. Russ matched up with Conley, though. I'm going to keep betting these Russ props. His double-doubles plus 290. His triple-doubles 21-1. I'll take sprinkles on those because outside of Gobert, none of these guys are keeping him off the boards. If he gets the playing time, he could easily triple-double here. We've seen him double-double in his first game. So
interesting situation with Russ. Against the Kings, Lou rode him the whole way. Against the Nuggets, he didn't play from the fourth quarter on. Does that concern you at all, Tyler?
I mean, a little bit, but that's things you got to take with a shot like that. And it's Russ we're talking about. If the dude sees the playing time and triple doubles at 21-1, good luck getting good odds on that again.
Yeah, good point.
So I'm going to keep betting him until he does it. If he doesn't do it the rest of the season, I'll continue to burn money on him. But for the performance doubles I like in this game, Kawhi to score 25 plus and win. He's been a tank. That's plus 130. Him to grab 6 rebounds and they win is plus 110. If it's not Russ on the boards, Mason Plumlee's not going to eat up all the boards. Kawhi's going to get down there and grab some. And I don't even mind taking some of these Russ performance doubles. The 10 plus assists and win is plus 460. That factors in with the double-double and the win, which is better odds. Or you could do the 8 plus rebounds and win at plus 300 if you don't think he gets to that triple-double. So those are some of the spots I like in this game.
AP, talk to me about this game.
Yeah, I like the Clippers. I think they, after two tough losses, one was just, an insane game. And then they took Denver to the wire. I think they'd make a statement tonight. I just think matchup wise, I mean, I like it better if Zubac's in there. I mean, Plumlee's been fine, but he's no rim protector. So, if Zubac's in there, I'm off Ant Edwards. If it's Plumlee, I think maybe you take a look at Ant Edwards, but honestly, the price is so sky high. I just think I'm off, and I like the Clippers here. Probably full fading this game.
All right, a full fade on the game. Let's go to the last game of the night. The Golden State Warriors are -4 against the Portland Trailblazers. Of course, the Trailblazers coming off that historic win over the Houston Rockets where Dame dropped 71. But, I know the Warriors aren't the same team that they were last year. Still not the Houston Rockets, right, Tyler? Blazers catching 4. Your thoughts?
Go to our guy AP first, since he's only got 4 minutes before he's got to get out of here.
Yeah, AP, go ahead, break down this game, give a best bet, and maybe your.
And then I'll pop out so I don't have to hold you guys up. So
yeah, so best break down the game, best bet, and best spend up, please.
I mean, my rule is like the Warriors at home, they're just so tough. I can't bet against them, so I'm taking the dubs here. Dame Lillard, I mean, the dude is an absolute monster. We had a member in chat post a really interesting comment that, the Warriors rolled out a box and 1 against Ant Edwards to keep him in check. That's why we saw Naz Reid open, things opened up for Naz Reid. Got to, think if they do that with Dame Lillard, one, can they do that with Dame Lillard? And is it going to slow him down? I mean, this dude dropped a 33-point triple-double on him, a few weeks ago. So I think that's a hard ask. When Dame is like doing what he's doing right now, you just play the guy. So I like Dame. I think I'm going to play him. But man, I think I might have to go back to like Klay Thompson. This dude at home, like Jordan Poole's been horrible. Like he hasn't looked good out there. He's taking bad shots. He's forcing things. He'll have stretches where he's good. I played Poole over Klay again, and now watch me being the donkey I am. I'll move to Klay, and then Poole will go off. That's going to be something I have to figure out. But I think, grabbing a piece or two in this game will be interesting. So Dame Lillard, obviously a fine play here. Maybe Cam Reddish or one of those other pieces. And then Klay Thompson just on fire. If you can play him or find a way to play him, I think he's an interesting play. But I got to take the Warriors side here. They're just so dang good at home. My best bet is the Lakers-Grizzlies under 230.5. So I like the under in that game.
Wow, that's a little off-brand.
Yeah, Tuesday unders. Tuesday unders.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get here.
I don't think we've ever gotten an AP under as a best bet.
I know. I mean, hopefully it's a lock to win, but that's what I like. So, all right, guys, thanks for having me on. Good seeing you too. Best of luck.
We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Tournaments tonight, and great job today. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Yep. See you guys.
All right, Tyler. We are on the Warriors and the Blazers. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, outside of props on the Portland side, I think you just have to take the Warriors here. Looking at this, the Warriors have won the last 18 of the 20 matchups played in Golden State with Portland. Mm-hmm. We know they shoot better at home. I like the idea of maybe doing a same-game parlay with Dame's props and Klay's props. Dame to hit 30, Klay to score 25, both the guys to hit like 5 threes. You know they're going to let them fly, so don't mind doing something like that. But for the most part, I think Golden State wins this game.
All right. You like Golden State there. All right. Best bet time, Tyler, for you. Side total prop. What do you got?
I'm going to Russ. I'm going to take his double-double and his triple-double. I think he's going to have a nice game against Conley. We've been targeting point guards against him all year. If he gets the minutes, he's going to smash here. So love his props today at those plus prices. Plus 290 and plus 2,100.
All right, I'm going to go under in the Pacers and the Mavericks. I'm throwing the predictions in right now, and I have a nice little edge there. So wouldn't be surprised to see it, as you talked about, these guys still working it out. So there you have it for us. Become a member. RunPureSports.com. Hey, if you're a big Raiders fan, you're a big Kings fan, you're a California guy, promo code SPREAD15. If you're a big player prop guy and you like when Tyler gives out those winning parlays, the promo code is Tyler15. Tyler, normally we have the guests sign us off, but AP left early. That falls to you. Let's hear it, Tyler. The words of wisdom.
Where's the wisdom? I mean, man, we just got to keep targeting these point guards against Conley. We're going to watch our guy Russ go out there and just dominate. And we're going to send that stat line to our guy Mangone at the end of the night because we know he's not a Russ truther.
I know, and he's not. Did you see this?
And look at our guy Steve's in the chat. Yep.
Drake just showed up. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. You know, that's an excellent segue. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, the Kings fan versus the Lakers fan. That's right. Chris Randone will be back on the NBA Rundown. So make sure you guys tune in for that. It's always fun when
How
he
you feel
shows
about
up.
this comment?
Well, that's obviously not true because I just said I was a Kings fan. Do you know how logic works? Come on, Clyde. No, buddies. You got to be kidding me. We got a whole city of them. Bro, we showed up with that trash team.
I wouldn't want to meet that. I wouldn't want to meet that one fan I tagged you the video in on Twitter.
What do you mean?
Where the dude was doing the thing with his hand, looking out onto the floor and his tongue. Just wasn't a good thing.
That's kind of weird to do it.
That was weird to do that in an NBA game towards another man, but
go ahead and retweet that, Tyler, so everyone knows what we're talking about. That is it for us on the NBA Rundown. We'll be back with Chris tomorrow as he continues to root for the bad guys. Right? I mean, unbelievable here, right? I mean, maybe Jonathan Nelson will show up too. It's going to be a great day.
He's going to challenge you to a one-on-one on the slab. You keep talking about his Lakers.
He probably beat me. He's like 20 years younger than me, and he played.
He's just going to take you out there and just 21-0 you just to put it on you.
I mean, you're being a 46-year-old man, right? It's like when they said, to Larry Bird, they said, hey, would you think the new dream team could beat you? And he says, well, I'd hope so. I'm 60 years old. On that note, we do have Kings fans. Clyde is absolutely wrong. Don't tail him. Tail us. RunPureSports.com. Run Pure.